Hello and welcome to the Curriculus. I'm Monk, and today we are in Starfield and we're taking a quick look at backgrounds. I'm going to talk you through which ones I would recommend grabbing and why I would recommend grabbing them. Now, the backgrounds essentially are a preset of 3 different perks. Now, it isn't just as simple as that. However, depending on which background you actually choose will shape how you progress in the early stages of the game. Now, you're not just going to ever have these 3 perks. As you progress through the game, you will acquire more perks. But right at the beginning, these are the first 3 perks that you will be starting with. So have a really good look at what it is that you'll want to grab. And if you see something that you really want and you're thinking, oh, it's between one or the other, don't worry, because later in the game you will have a chance to level up and acquire new perks. You can also upgrade your perks too, so that's kind of snazzy. However, keep in mind that if you want to upgrade a perk, you are going to have to complete certain challenges without your game. Certain perks can only be leveled up in particular ways as well, so keep that in mind. Now, one thing I will say is that this game should be played however you want to play it. There is no right way or wrong way to play this game. There's certainly no right or wrong background to pick either. So, feel free. If you want to role play a certain way, you want to be a bounty hunter, you want to be a combat medic, go for it. Eat up this game however you want to do it. But given a little look through them, there's certainly some perks that are just better than others. Now, personally, being a beast hunter sounds quite cool. Being a bounty hunter, again, sounds quite cool. These are obviously combat-related backgrounds. They are also going to impact your game as you play through. So, it will be referenced quite often, whichever background you happen to pick. Now, if you do happen to pick the Beast Hunter, you will get Fitness. Now, Fitness is a perk that essentially gives you a better stamina bar. The second perk is Ballistics. Basically, you become better with weapons that fire projectile ammunition. Now, the third perk here is particularly interesting because with this, you're able to craft new food and drink recipes, and even research additional recipes. Now, if you ask me, that is kind of handy. It accesses and opens up new areas of the game that you're not going to have access to without it. Next up, we have the Bouncer, and the first skill here is Boxing. Now, if you learn this, obviously without any weapons equipped, you deal more damage. Now, if you actually rank this up to tier 4, you end up doing 100% more damage and have the ability to knock back as well. So if you like a bit of melee action, then this is pretty handy. Next up, we have Security, and again, this gives you better access to computers. Now, there's a lot of computers throughout Starfield. Having this skill eventually is probably going to be very, very useful. Picking it up early game, again, it's going to be very advantageous because you're going to be able to have access to bits of information and extra things a little bit earlier than other people, because those doors are going to be locked to you unless you have this. Next up, we have the Bounty Hunter background. With this one, our first skill is Piloting. This can be very, very useful because within the piloting side of things, you're going to be able to have access to ships, better class ships, faster than without it. And grabbing it up early is another decent one to get hold of. Unfortunately, you can only pick one though, so you're gonna have to weigh up or what you want a little bit more than the others. Now, Combat Medic is an interesting one because not only are you handy with pistols, but obviously you're very good with medicine as well. You also have Wellness, which essentially increases the hit points you have. If you level it up completely, you will receive 40% more hit points, which is quite an extra boost. And it can be quite handy if you're prone to getting into battle, probably like I'm going to be. Now, Cyber Runner seems like a really interesting background. Obviously, you've got their stealth here, so if you fancy stealthing your way through the entire game, perhaps you got a bit of Skyrim still inside you, and you want to take those stealthier options, this is your play. You've also got access to security and, of course, thievery as well, meaning that you're going to be a little bit better at it than you would without. Of course, you're going to be thieving regardless of whether you've got the perk or not, but at least with it, you've got a better chance of actually getting away with it. Up next, we have access to medicine, security, and lasers. Now, with medicine, it basically means that you're better at using the med packs. Now, I use an awful lot of med packs, so being able to use med packs more efficiently is definitely a good perk to get. Don't forget, all of these perks can be leveled up to level 4. Increasingly, these perks do better and better as you go on. Of course, lasers mean that you are better with laser rifles and such like that. Up next, we have Diplomat. Now, in my opinion, Diplomat is the best background to choose, especially early game. The persuasion means you're able to get out of battles without even a fight, as well as several extra dialogue options added. Comments means you're able to actually get more money back for items, both selling them and, of course, buying them from shops cheaper as well, meaning you're gonna be richer using this perk than you would be without this perk. Being a diplomat is very interesting and probably a good way to go in any Bethesda game. Next up, we have Explorer. Now, lasers we've already covered, but the next one actually increases your grav jump, which could be really useful. And of course, then surveying is a huge part of the game. Within Gangster, Shotgun Specialist is the only thing that we haven't covered there. Within the Homesteader, we actually have weightlifting, which increases your carry capacity, could be very useful. And then we have Geology, which enables you to get more rarer resources. The Industrialist is very interesting because you have research methods, which means you require less resources to actually craft items. Now, level this up and it's significantly less resources. Long Hauler gets us the ballistic weapon systems. Again, if you plan to be a space pirate, if you plan to be doing a lot of ship-to-ship battles, then this could be a way to go and worth leveling up. Pilgrim gets us salvaging, and of course that means we're going to get more materials back. And I don't know about you, but I always want more stuff. And then the Ronin gets us dueling, which of course means we're going to be better with those melee weapons as well. Sculptor has boost pack training, which could be really useful because you're going to be using it an awful lot throughout your game. And basically, these backgrounds really are going to be dictating your early game. As you progress, you're going to be able to pick up more and more perks. You're going to be able to level up these perks as well. One thing I would repeat is that all of these perks can be leveled up to level 4. And there's some that are clearly better than others. Now, personally, I'm going to be going with the Diplomat. I really like the idea of having Persuasion. I really like the idea of having Commerce and of course wellness as well. All three are very, very good skills and perks to be having and to level up. What I would finish on is that piloting is something that I would not overlook. If you want to get access to those better ships, those bigger, better, badder ships, you're gonna need to level up piloting to level 3 and 4. Not only that, but even level 1 and 2 enable you to do, ship fights, and you're gonna be able to maneuver a hell of a lot quicker, but if you have it than if you don't. So invest in piloting early. I think every single playthrough is going to need piloting. But yeah, my first pick out of all of the backgrounds has to be the Diplomat. But let me know down in the comments which one you're going to go with and why. But until next time, guys, I've been a monk, we've been Kudos, and I will see you in the next video real soon. Until then, take it easy and happy gaming.